Hello, this is Geotech and today I'm going to be talking about cryptocurrencies and why I believe they are a giant fraud. And it's not just me that feels this way. The creator of Dogecoin himself, Jackson Palmer, recently lamented on Twitter that cryptocurrencies are a hyper-capitalist technology that is amplifying the wealth of its proponents. So I'll be breaking down his comments, and I'll also be looking at another article that takes a look at the purported benefits of cryptocurrencies. So let's take a look. If you're enjoying my video, you can subscribe to me on YouTube, PeerTube, follow me on Odyssey. You could also support me on LiberaPay, Patreon, and by shopping at Earth Hero. See links in the description below. Alright, so here is the original thread by Jackson Palmer, and I'm going to read some of these, not the entire thing. I encourage everyone to read the entire thing. I'll share a link in the description below as well. So he says, and I quote, "After years of studying it, I believe that cryptocurrency is an inherently right-wing, hyper-capitalistic technology built primarily to amplify the wealth of its proponents through a combination of tax avoidance, diminished regulatory oversight, and artificially enforced scarcity. Despite claims of decentralization, the cryptocurrency industry is controlled by a powerful cartel of wealthy figures who, with time, have evolved to incorporate many of the same institutions tied to the existing centralized financial system they supposedly set out to replace. Cryptocurrency is like taking the worst parts of today's capitalist system, example corruption, fraud, inequality, and using software to technically limit the use of interventions, audits, regulation, taxation, which serve as protections or safety nets for the average person. But these days, even the most modest critique of cryptocurrency will draw smears from the powerful figures in control of the industry and the ire of retail investors who they've sold the false promise of one day being a fellow billionaire. Good faith debate is near impossible." That's a really good breakdown of the current overall state of cryptocurrencies. A lot of people feel that this is their way to get rich. It kind of forms this cult-like get rich quick scheme here. Let's look at the privacy aspect of it. One of the alleged benefits of cryptocurrencies is that you don't have to go through a bank or a government institution. I guess in the cases where you want to give, money to a friend, that might be the use case where, the government nor a banking institution doesn't know what you're doing. I see that as a win for privacy. However, I'm not sure if it's that easy to do that though without relying on some service. Like, for example, Coinbase. If you make any kind of transaction on Coinbase, for example, they make it very easy to exchange cryptocurrencies and US dollars. But they take a percentage, a service fee, and because they're an official institution, they're subject to US laws. That's why when you sign up for Coinbase, they ask for all your personal information, your social, or the last four of your social, and of course you also have to connect your actual bank account. So you're still involving your bank and you're still involving the US government, and on top of that, you're involving a private corporation, or I guess a publicly traded corporation. But you might counter and say, well, you don't have to necessarily go through Coinbase. You can go to some, other organization, or maybe even something underground, maybe something in the dark web. But therein lies a problem, where you as a user or consumer have no protections. It's going to allow people that are going to try to scam you or create some sort of fraud. The benefits outweigh the risks there. Plus, not to mention, because they're going to be underground institutions, I feel like it just wouldn't be easy for the average person to get into cryptocurrencies in the first place. Of course, I had to do my research for this video, and I was trying to find a way to actually exchange cryptocurrencies anonymously. And I found this website, BitDegree. Already I'm seeing a bunch of advertisements for mainstream crypto exchanges that are already going to be interfacing with the government and banks. It actually doesn't make exchanging here private. Bitcoin were to go mainstream, and for the most part it kind of already is, then that's going to be at the cost of privacy. But of course, the argument here is that you don't have to use any of these exchanges. And this article shows you the many ways you could exchange Bitcoins anonymously. And my point of showing this is that it actually involves a lot of steps that the average person won't really be able to do. And so they'll have to rely on these mainstream exchanges. And then there comes the other aspect of it, whether cryptocurrencies can even be used as a currency. They're very volatile, where they're constantly gaining and losing so much value that it makes it impossible to really use it as an effective currency replacement. One other thing that's important is the whole regulations and centralized authority aspect of it. And again, I'm in favor of decentralization, but still think there's good regulations. They're not all necessarily bad. The thing with exchanging cryptocurrencies is that, let's say you enter someone's Bitcoin address incorrectly, that money gets lost and there's no way to recover that. I'll give you an example where having a third party can be good, especially a government third party. If someone uses your credit card and goes on a shopping spree, your bank can sometimes be liable for, giving you those funds back. And that encourages them to investigate, who took your money. You get that guarantee because of government regulation. When you take out government and regulations and you try to rely on just the free market, it actually doesn't work as everyone thinks it will work. We could disagree on what and how much the government should regulate and which regulations they should support or not support. But with government, at least we have a chance because we can vote and, hold elected officials accountable. But if we rely solely on the free market, we're at the whims of private corporations. And I think a private tyranny is worse than a government tyranny, because with the government, even though you can say that, the people don't have that much power or say in government, at least we still have a chance to gain more power through voting or through protests. With private corporations, we just have to play by their rules. And don't get me wrong, I don't also want to put all my trust to the government. I remember when payment processors like Visa stopped supporting or letting users donate to an organization like WikiLeaks. One area where I disagreed with and where maybe Bitcoin might have been an option. But again, with the currency being so volatile, I don't know if this is practical. I would love to see an alternative payment system that was secure and actually private and actually easy for the average person to use, and that was actually stable and not just being used for speculation. So to summarize, cryptocurrencies are mostly being used as speculative commodity. The more people believe in it, the more the value of these currencies grow. The richer those few wealthy people that can afford to spend thousands on buying into these cryptocurrencies, the richer they get. Let me know your thoughts. Do you still believe in cryptocurrencies? Do you think it'll just remain something that is used as a techno Wall Street speculation type of thing? Or do you actually see it as it becoming a legit currency? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you like my video, please like, share, subscribe, and I will see you all next time.